Hello and welcome back, dear students, in the lecture of communication skills. In that, we are discussing the second unit, elements of communication. Up till now, in this unit, we have completed what is face-to-face communication, okay, which is nothing but at least similar to oral communications. All oral communications are not face-to-face, okay, that we have discussed already, but all face-to-face communications are oral communications. Advantages of face-to-face communication we have seen. Okay, it is helpful for communicating in a better way and better manner, best for discussion purpose. Okay, if you are having the person facing with you directly in front of you, it becomes easy to make a proper discussion, okay, about solving the problems or any other things which are there. Then we also discussed the problems, the difficulties, the limitations about face to face communication also, like it becomes hard if there is a big organization, okay, if it is a large number of people are there, okay, you cannot individually meet everybody. And other thing, another disadvantage or limitation is if the other person, the listener who is called, is non-attentive, okay, if he or she is not interested in you for communicating, then at time at that time we can say the face-to-face communication becomes so called as ineffective one, okay. Then we have also discussed the tone of voice, okay, the tone, the way, the volume of the voice, the level and type of the emotions that we communicate, okay, they are also important. It is said that the tone of our voice we use during communication is responsible for about 40 to 45% of our message. So it makes a great impact on the listener, and hence it generally depends upon the tone of our voice, that whether the listener taking it positively or negatively, okay. Then another, the body language, the non-verbal communication we also discussed, okay, the uh, all the physical body language that we have discussed. See, these all non-verbal things are there, okay, in that uh, the list we have seen the gestures, the body movement, the postures, all those, okay, uh, about each and every aspect which is there in this non-verbal communication, okay, we have completed. Now today we will be discussing about the verbal communication, okay. The main element of communication, generally it is said that, okay, the 90% of communication is done verbally, that is by using the words. And it is said that actually it is less impactful element, even though it is main, okay, you are having the more percentage, that is 90 percentage of the weightage of communication, okay, contribution is 90% of your words, that is verbal communication, but they are less impactful as compared to the non-verbal communication, okay. It is defined as the sharing of information between the individuals by using speech, whatever knowledge, information, feelings, importantly if you want to share, and you are sharing it by using the speech, the words, some language, okay, which it can be called as a verbal communication. And it is generally depends upon the different factors. The factors like non-verbal communication. Okay, there are here are also the verbal communications is also having its dependence on importantly listening skills and clarification. Okay, listening skills means you should be able to listen properly, means you should have the proper concentration while listening some message, some information, so that you will be able to communicate or transfer it to others. If you are not listening properly, that is skills of listenings are not good with you, you won't be able to do a proper verbal communication. And definitely its clarification means understanding of the message uh, prior, okay, so that you have understood it clearly, and then only you can use your verbal communication by means of some speech or words to explain the same to others. Generally the clarity of speech, how to remain calm and focus, being polite, these all will make the verbal communication more effective one, isn't it? If during your communication, in your verbal communication, if you are remaining calm, म्हणतात ना मराठीमध्ये शांततेत बोललं, if you are calm and always focus on your words and what you want to say, and with politeness, it is said that it will be more effective communication. Okay, effective verbal communication. And verbal communication means the use of sounds, the languages, okay, to send a message. And it is said that it serves as a vehicle, okay, vehicle for particularly uh, showing or expressing your desire. Okay, desire means what you are, your thoughts, your ideas, and all the concepts. And it is important for the process of learning and teaching. Okay, what now you are doing, isn't it? Well, you are learning, and equally I am teaching. So, verbal communication is using the words, the languages, and whatever words you use during the communication actually will be having the inclusion of what your thoughts are there behind it. Okay, what are your desire, what ideas are there, whether you are having a detailed concept understood. Okay, and if you are uh, equally aware about the learning, okay, then only you can go for teaching, so which is there. And verbal communication is same. Generally when we use uh, the both simultaneously verbal as well as non-verbal communication, okay, it is said that it acts as a primary tool for effective communication, isn't it? Verbal means using a proper body language, sorry, proper words during the communication, and other case that is non-verbal communication, you are using the proper body movement, posture, smile, and all possible other things. Okay, if collectively used, you can say it becomes a primary tool for converting your communication to a effective one. Okay, it is said that uh, basically this verbal communication is of two types. First is interpersonal communication. Okay, interpersonal generally it refers to two-way exchange. Two-way exchange means from both parties or both the persons who are involved in the communication are sharing their thoughts, information, whatever it may be. Okay, both are involved in talking and listening. Both persons who are making communication, hence the word interpersonal communication. Okay, if verbal communication, if it is using, okay, first type interpersonal, both are involved in, while second one is uh, public speaking. Actually, this is mistake by me. Okay, not a personal speaking. Okay, it is a public speaking, sorry for that. Public speaking, it involves one or more people delivering a message. Okay, what you are doing when there is the inclusion of many persons in the communication, there are chances the communication involves, like in group discussion, if it is there, so there are many persons. Okay, that is also verbal communication, where are where more people are involved simply, and interpersonal only two persons are involved. Okay, generally it is second one, the public speaking. Okay, is having the involvement of more people who are delivering their message, okay, to, we say for example, to a group. The signs and symbols are major elements of verbal communication. Whatever uh, the signs and symbols you are using, okay, during the communication, they are said to be the major impactful elements of verbal communication, because words act as a symbol and sign are secondary product, which include the things like our tone of voice, uh, your facial expressions which are there, okay, during the talk or during verbal communication you are using. So verbal communication has many objectives, but most important is to relay a message to one or more recipient. Okay, where in public speaking, what it is there, okay, you should where you are saying the sending the message to number of recipients, the persons involved are more, and it can be used to inform either, okay, giving the information to many persons or in to group, or if you are inquiring about something, or if you are engaged in arguing, okay, arguments are there, or discuss about any topic which is there, so group discussion we'll say. So these are the public speaking. Okay, it is requiring generally said to be required for teaching and learning, and if you are good in the verbal communication, it forms the bonds, and it builds a good relationship with other people, isn't it? you will become have a good person in front of all those. If you are using your both skills simultaneously effectively, verbal and non-verbal communication, there are some problems generally faced while doing the verbal communication. First is the misunderstanding can arise if you are not able to use the proper word, okay, the correct word which should be used during the verbal communication, isn't it? होतं ना असं कधी जो तुम्हाला जर वर्ड जो यूज करायला पाहिजे तो तुम्ही जर नाही यूज केला, तुम्ही दुसराच यूज करून घेतला, it makes a problem. What problem? That is misunderstanding may happen, okay, if you are poor in making the choice of words during your communication. Then the different perspectives are there. Of the people perspective we already discussed, okay, the way of looking, uh, understanding the message, okay. In the first unit we have seen what are perspectives in communication, okay. So the people may have their own perspectives, their views about the words which are spoken. And then uh, sometimes faulty communication techniques, okay, the technique should be again proper one depending upon the communication involved in. If all these things are not used properly, okay, there is a misunderstanding because of even this, even in the verbal communication. Then the another problem is subjective opinions regarding acceptable language may result in poor communication, okay. Everybody is having their own different opinion regarding the uh, message, whether in which language it has been told, okay. The language is acceptable by the receiver, the listener is not, okay, means they are understanding it in a proper way, 100% understanding should be there. And if you are not using proper language, simply, okay, there will be a poor communication will be resulted out of that. Then language barriers, just I told, generally it is making the complete confusion in the mind of the listener, okay. That is difference in languages are there due to in first unit we are saying geographical location, the areas, the locality, uh, then even there are variation in the education of the persons, people we are interacting with one another, sometimes the social states. Then all the other things which are responsible for making a language as a problem, that is a language barrier we have seen, okay, using jargons, some grammar mistakes, accents and dialects are different, so all these are responsible for making a problem because it is a verbal communication. And next, how we can solve the problem, or which are the ways to avoid the problems which may arise in the verbal communication. First thing, increasing your changes of communication successfully. First of all, when we say using proper words. Okay, if you are good making a proper choice of words, okay, what the problems you are seeing, their solutions are same. Okay, if in here we are saying that uh, poor word choice, and if you are making a proper correction, okay, if you are using them accordingly, okay, the chances of communication of becoming successful will be there. Okay, you can consider the message you want to convey before speaking, okay, with respect to the uh, perspective of the recipient or the listener. We have to think first about the listener, what they will understand, what kind of words should be used while speaking with those particular person. Okay, if you are good in it, it will be actually the solution of the problems in your verbal communication. समोरचे माणसाला कसं समजतं म्हणतात ना, समोरच्याला जी भाषा समजते त्या भाषेत बोललं पाहिजे. भाषा म्हणजे other, not only language but many other things are there in it. So depending upon their actual understanding, okay, we first of all make prepare the uh, messages in our mind before speaking. We should develop them or create them in our mind according to the listener and recipient point of view. Then but you have to always paying the proper attention to what you say and how you say it. It is also important. तुम्ही कसं बोलता आणि काय बोलता हे तुमची पण शुद्ध पाहिजे. ओके, मीन्स शुद्धीत बोलायला पाहिजे आपण. वेन यू हॅव टू मेक अ प्रॉपर अटेन्शन, simply what it is called as concentration, what words you are using, what language you are using, okay, they must be correctly and properly used. And if they are used in a proper way, then the problem will be solved automatically. Then speak clearly and uh, enunciate your words. There is clear statement of the ideas should be made properly. Okay, clear means the words you speak should be understood clearly to others. What are your ideas, what are your thoughts? You should make a proper and clear statement of your thoughts so that they will be understood properly and problems will be solved. Then also have a concentration on the non-verbal aspects which are there, because just we have discussed, okay, the non-verbal things are also important one to have a addition to your verbal communication. Whatever body languages are there, the eye contact, the posture, the facial expressions during your so called as verbal communication. Okay, because when we are speaking our face is also speaking, but if your face, the expressions are different than the words, there will be confusion in the mind. If you are happy you should smile, and if you are sad you should not smile, or you should have that sort of facial expression. So simply what it is there, you have to also concentrate equally properly in which way, depending upon the condition, the circumstances which are there in the communication, so that you should have a effective communication and a good verbal communication. So this how we can solve the problem of which are arising in verbal communication. Next point is physical communication. It is also termed as non-verbal communication. Okay, and generally it is a type of communication where the symbols, signs, and gestures are used. Okay, we have already discussed the body language, the non-verbal communication, but as in your syllabus they have mentioned physical communication. Okay, it is actually the same one, only the other word, the physical communication, has been made included in it. Okay, which is a part of your so called as element of communication. Okay, the physical communication, non-verbal communication, which is said, okay, having inclusion of all the signs, symbols, gesture, postures. It involves the use of eyes for seeing and other parts of the body for gesturing. Definitely you are using the uh, your eyes, okay, your ability to see things properly, and using your eyes for showing your confidence, what your other things in a proper way, which is a part of your physical communication, and along with all your body parts which are there, okay, for giving a proper gesture. Even it says that every person uses physical communication skills. For example, the body posture while speaking, okay, the eye contact and touch, and many other things, how you are using them. I already told, I think in practicals, a small child even knows that the nodding the head means yes, okay, and shaking the head means no. What is it? It is a physical communication, okay, or non-verbal communication. So just said that physical communication is very important for communication. It generally complements the verbal communication and gives a good result when they both are used in a proper combined way, so that your communication will be effective. And it is generally our ability how we use it effectively. Okay, every person is not having a good sort of skill to use both simultaneously to make a proper effectiveness. For example, in sports we know the ability to use and understand the signs and gestures, they are very much essential in whatever game you are playing. Okay, if you are playing uh, some any other game like football, okay, when you are passing the ball from one to another, okay, generally if you are having the direction of your body in another side, but actually if you are looking and given some sign or symbol to your colleague that the ball is going to be passed to you, okay, that understanding is very much important, and it is actually the physical communication. Okay, in sports, not only in sports but everywhere actually they are important. So if we say consider the example of sports, the coaches and players always use them. Okay, the coach who are there who are giving some directions for again same example you can take in the football. The coach is outside the ground, and from where he is signaling, giving some uh, signs to the player that how to play, where to pass the ball, and many other things are there, which are the codes they have decided for understanding the message. Okay, where the physical communication is used. Everyone wants their physical communication to reflect exactly what they are trying to say. Okay, when a person is there, and if you want to give the message to the other person, and what physical communication you are using, okay, during that so called as verbal communication, it reflects what you are thinking. Okay, what you are trying to say will be equally shared by your physical communication. And there are certain ways, okay, by which we can improve our physical communication. So first one is by controlling our anxiety. The problem, the tension is there, isn't it? uh, Wrong communication signals due to anxiety can affect the communication. If you are tense, okay, there are chances you may be not able to control your stress. Okay, either sad or angry, whatever it may be. Okay, all emotional states which are there, particularly in intention. Okay, eh, you may be using some incorrect signals, and uh, that should be avoided, okay, by simply controlling your anxiety. And how you can do it? Okay, you can take deep breath. Okay, and deep breath म्हणजे असं खोल श्वास घ्यायचा आणि सोडायचा, so that we'll be becoming relieving our anxiety or tension. Or other way, you can have some cool drink, okay, to calm yourself. That also can be done. Okay, whatever you like, and have some sort of cold drink also to make yourself cool and calm. So the first thing you can do is controlling your anxiety. Second is the stress management. Again, the stress, yeah, anxiety and stress are nearly similar terminologies, but different one also. Stress can be relieved by taking some break during your work. Okay, whatever work if you are doing for if it is should be done for longer period, can take break to have a effective stress management. And if you are having certain longer speech to deliver, again you can use the same technique. It is to take some breaks to avoid the sign of tiredness or frustrations, whatever if possible are there to you. Okay, third thing is eye contact. If you use these all uh, things, eye contact particularly during your verbal communication also, okay, as it is a physical communication, eye contact, always we should have a proper eye contact with the listener, so that it will reflect your confidence. And generally it means that you are paying attention to them. Okay, both things are there. With a proper eye contact, you can have a proper improvement of your physical communication. Then practice your own signs and symbols are there, okay, which are used by practicing your own non-verbal signs, and by reading the other people's gesture generally will help to improve your physical communication skills. Every person is having their own uh, way, the physical uh, so called as a posture or gesture, okay, the people should use it properly. And if you are good in understanding the other person's condition, okay, it becomes said to be additional thing to improve your physical communication, and automatically you will be a good communicator. Next point is the communication styles, okay. There are different styles of communication. Communication must be assertive one, generally it is said, okay. First of all, communication has its own different styles which we most often use in our daily interactions with family member, friends, colleagues, whoever are there. Okay, everybody is having their own way, the style of communication. Okay, this next point we have to discuss. And it is said that our communication should be assertive one. Assertive means it should um, clearly express your feelings and thoughts. Okay, what actually you are thinking, if they are exactly expressed in a same way, then can say it is a good style. Always you should have this sort which is called as assertive style, and it can be through open and honest communication, okay. And it should be direct communication. If you are using these all properly, a person is automatically sending the message exactly what he or she is thinking, okay. Open minded, okay. If you are open minded means you are saying the same what is in your mind or in your heart. You are honestly you should give your 100% in your communication. You should be telling the same what you are thinking. And the direct way, if you are choosing for communication, automatically you are giving your message in a proper way, okay. So there are different styles of communication that we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you.